What's up, y'all, and welcome back to OnlyTacticalFans, the last channel standing between your suppressor and 1930s tax scam. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button like it still means something before the ATF decides your Wi-Fi is now a machine gun. And hey, if you want to support real freedom, not just complain about losing it, go grab some gear at OnlyTacticalFans.myshopify.com. The merch store keeps this channel alive and keeps CRS's family fed while the feds play legal gymnastics. Alright, now let's talk about the latest plot twist in the NFA Clown Show. So here's the big headline. Congress passed a budget reconciliating bill that, get this, zeroed out the 200 tax on suppressors and short-barreled rifles. That's right, the infamous 200 that's been robbing Americans of their rights since 1934 just got axed. Sort of. Now before we throw a full-blown celebratory range day, let's be clear. This ain't a full repeal of National Firearms Act. It's more like if the government said, okay, we won't charge you to punch yourself in the face anymore, but we're still going to make you do it. That zero tax is a temporary move tied to this year's budget. The rest of the NFA, like the registry, the paperwork, nightmare, and the waiting periods, still very much exists. The government just stopped charging you admission to your own infringement. Now here's where it gets good. Some folks are patting themselves on the back and calling this a win. Gun Owners America is out here flipping tables, and I love it. GOA isn't settling for symbolic crumbs. They said, and I quote, "We're still fighting for the full repeal of the NFA excess tax on suppressors and short-barreled rifles." Translation, thanks for the temporary coupon code, but we're coming for the whole store. Because the GOA knows what's really up. If they don't keep pushing, this whole tax cut could vanish in the next political cycle faster than Hunter Biden's laptop from an FBI admin's locker. And if the Supreme Court doesn't get involved soon, we'll be right back where we started, paying $200 to ask permission to obey the Constitution. And here's the spicy part. GOA is preparing a big, beautiful lawsuit, yes, that's the real name they gave it, to try to nuke the NFA from orbit. Why? Because the whole foundation of the NFA was built on government's taxing power. See, when the NFA was challenged in the 1930s, the Supreme Court upheld it not because they thought it was constitutional per se, but because they said it was just a tax. Well, now that tax is gone, so the GOA's legal argument is, if the tax was the only reason this law was allowed to exist, and the tax is now zero, then the law has no leg to stand on. It's like the government saying, we can only enter your house if you leave the door open. And now the door's closed and they're still barging in anyways. That's what GOA is gearing up to challenge. But GOA isn't doing this alone. They've lined up with some big players in the gun world. Palmetto State Armory, on board. Silencer Shop, yep. B&T USA, locked in. That's just grassroots, firepower, and financial and legal horsepower ready to slap Uncle Sam across the courtroom. So this isn't just a flashy press release. They've got funding, they've got legal teams, and most importantly, they've got the momentum. If this lawsuit lands in the right court, we could be witnessing the beginning of the end, or at least part of the NFA. We're not there yet, but this is the closest anyone has gotten since the 1930s. So let's talk about what all this means for you. First off, if this law holds, you'll no longer have to pay $200 tax for your suppressor or short-barreled rifle. Congrats, you just saved enough for one box of 300 blackout. But, and it's a big but, you still have to fill out the same forms, you still have to wait for approval, you still get tossed into a federal registry for exercising a right. So don't go thinking you can just pick up a suppressor at 4 p.m. and go plinking by 6 p.m. The machine is still alive. And unless GOA's lawsuit kills it, the NFA is still hovering over your shoulder like the world's most expensive, least fun mall cop. GOA is making one thing crystal clear. Tax repeal is just the first domino. Their goal is full repeal, no registry, no forms, no A-month background check because you bought a piece of metal that reduces noise pollution. They're looking to turn this tax removal into legal ammo, pun fully intended. The argument is simple. Without a tax, the law's constitutional basis evaporates. And once that happens, boom, the registry becomes an unconstitutional relic. If that lawsuit succeeds, the NFA could lose its teeth. And for the first time in nearly a century, law-abiding Americans might actually be treated like law-abiding Americans. So here's the bottom line. The 200 tax might be gone, but the fight isn't. GOA is turning up the heat, and if we back them up, we might actually see the first real gut punch to the NFA since 1934. This is your call to action. Go support GOA, call your reps, get loud. Don't let this turn into another half measure that fades away with the next election cycle. The iron is hot, folks, and it's time to strike. All right, let me know what you guys think of this video. Subscribe, share this video, and don't forget, if the government says you need permission to exercise your rights, you probably shouldn't be asking. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Until next time, peace.